2. Now that can be achieved by two ways. Either I is dissolved, in that case you only remain, and if only one remains, there is no two. Or you take Mahavir's way and say you don't exist, I only am there. Atma is itself there. But either way, who to I and thou is duality. If you remove I, you will receive Advaita. Or if you remove completely you receive Advaita. So choose your way. Find your nature. That's what Krishna says. Find your nature and reach Advaita. But there again, look how our organized religions have indoctrinated us. Our organized religion says, if you want to love God, then don't love this samsara. Move away from society. All these relationships that you have with your family, that's a hindrance. If you do that, you can't love God. You have to renounce everything in order to find Him. I say it is contrary to what Krishna is saying. What Krishna is saying is, start with the love that you know. Start with it. Loving your husband, loving your wife, loving your children, loving your family, loving your country. These are all steps in the right direction. It is like learning to swim in a shallow water. You can't jump in a big ocean unless you have first started to learn how to swim in a shallow waters. So what I would say is this whole idea of renunciation, whole idea of living, no, start there. Start there. Love anything, anybody. That's the beginning. That is a stepping stone to that ultimate love. Because what happens if you love deeply anybody, even the other human being, the experience will tell you. An experience I have told many people that love ultimately is never satisfactory. Why? Because the two always remain. However you want to merge with the other, it's impossible. It's only possible when you love this Anant. Only way to get yourself lost is with Paramatma or Anant or existence. So, if you love anybody, anything, the dissatisfaction of not reaching that ultimate state of love, which is the unity, that dissatisfaction motivates you to then go to that ultimate love that we are talking about, which is the bhakti. But I believe that in the modern age in which we are living, the scientific age in which we are living, the reason-oriented age in which we are living, at one time bhakti was sulabh, as Narad says in his Bhakti Sutra. And this Dhyan Marga or way of meditation, Mahavir's way, was very difficult. arduous in those days. I believe that the modern times in which we live, it is just the reverse. I don't think you can lose your ego in the first instance or in the last. It's very difficult because we have become result-oriented. So in the modern era in which we are living, where our mind has become scientific, a gradual process, although difficult, is Buddha's way or Mahavir's way. That now if you can do bhakti, if you can reach that state of love where can you lose yourself, you can completely surrender yourself. Or you are a born Siddha like Krishna who simply remembers who he is. Simply remember it. Kabir has said Surati. If you can reach that Surati of you are without doing anything, nothing greater than that. But how many of us can become Krishna? So that is also a uniqueness of Krishna, that he did not do any sadhana. Another way that Krishna says how you can reach this Smriti. What is the method? And Krishna expounds it very beautifully. He distinguishes between action, inaction, and non-action. Krishna says that it is the nature of our things that we cannot do otherwise than performing karma. Inaction has been misinterpreted as niskriyata, lethargy. No, Krishna doesn't say that. Krishna means by non-action that which happens by itself. It doesn't happen by your doing, it happens by itself. Krishna says that, look, if you are an intelligent person, look, the most important things in your life, birth, death, love, your breathing, even the circulation of your blood. Is it under your control? Do you do anything about that? He said, be aware. The most important things of birth, death, love, your life which depends upon your breath, circulation of blood, these are all happening by itself. You are not the doer of those things. The existence does it for you. So, if you understand that most of the most important things in your life are just a happening, then your action will be done, which he calls inaction. When it will result in inaction is that when you remove this attitude of karta, that you are the doer. You do all the things that you are required to do, but consider that you are not the doer. Existence is the doer. Then Krishna says that any action that you do, you don't have karma bandhan. So if you can perform all your activities, you don't have to leave anything. You don't have to renunciate anything. You don't have to escape from anything. As long as you do your karmas as if you are not the doer. And that wisdom will come to you if you concentrate what a non-action is. Then you can live life as I am living. You don't have to leave anything. Then you can live in the world. So Krishna's teaching is live in the world, but live like a lotus flower. Jala kamal. Lotus flower blossoms in the mud, but mud never touches the beauty of the lotus flower. Live like that as long as you remove that you are the karta. And remember, the whole universe is living like that, except man. Hu karu, ye jagnata, sakatano bharata, swanata. It is like that villager who rides a train, and the villager is, poor fellow, is very sympathetic to train. He said, wow, my God, so many people, so many bags, train is carrying so much of weight. So he puts his suitcase on his, I have to lessen the burden of the train. No. You do all the things required of you as long as you can remove this idea that I am doing, that I am the karta. And all yoga that he is talking about in a nutshell, whether it is a Gnan yoga or Bhakti yoga or Karma yoga, all yoga that he is talking about in Gita is in this one idea. If you remove Gnani from Gnana, if you remove Bhakta from Bhakti, if you do karma without karta, then you reach yoga. Very simple. So what Krishna is saying is again what I told you in the last two lectures. If you look at it from other point of view, what Krishna is saying is, you do everything. You don't have to escape anywhere. You don't have to renounce anywhere. As long as you do as a witness. All things boils down to Sakshi. You become a drashta, you become a Sakshi, and nothing will affect you. So I will give you with an example. The whole universe, if you look at it. Maluk Das, he has written beautiful couplets. Maluk Das says, Ajkar kare na chakri, na panchi kare na kaam. Bird doesn't wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning to go to work at 6 o'clock. Ajkar kare na chakri, na panchi kare na kaam. दास मुलुका कह गए सबके दाता. The whole existence provides for everybody else. All animals, all birds, every other thing in the universe is taken care of by existence. Can you imagine, can you think about it once in a while? That this sparrow, when the sparrow knows that he has to deliver a child, who tells the sparrow to collect, all this grass and everything else so that the nest is prepared? Who tells sparrow? Where does that intelligence come? It is an intuitive intelligence that 6 months ago he started collecting and the nest is ready when the bird is delivered. In existence, if there is a book, bhojan is already ready. Everything. Therefore, those who know says that if there is a desire to know the truth, आपकी ईश्वर की खोज है तो जरूर मानना कि ईश्वर भी होगा. Everything is provided. बुक के पहला यहाँ भोजन है. But that is true of the entire existence. But it is not true of the human being. Why? Because we believe that we can provide for ourselves. There is a beautiful story about Krishna. That Krishna is eating, dinner, and all of a sudden, he stands up and runs toward the door. And Rukmini says, "Why? Finish your dinner, whatever say. Why are you rushing to the door?" And Krishna says, "Well, I have to because there is my bhakta outside and people are throwing stones. I have to rush and save him." And then he goes to the door and comes back again. And Rukmini says, why did you, after running and come back? He said, now he has taken the stone upon himself and he is throwing. He can defend himself. So this idea, if non-action, if you become aware of the non-action, then all your action will result in inaction. So if you do anything, the basic point of any sadhana or anything that meant by truth boils down to only 2 or 3 things. The main aim of all sadhana, all tap, is the dissolution of ego. And how do you dissolve this ego? There are only 3 things. One is increase your awareness. Do everything with full consciousness. Do not do anything automatic as a reaction, unconsciously. That is the one thing. Through meditation or any technique, increase your awareness. And second thing is through that awareness, you develop witness in you. Became Shakshi, Drashta of everything. And in order to then see yourself, quiet your mind. Make it peaceful, quiet, thoughtlessness, which we call it, or Zen calls it, or modern terminology calls it no mind. A state of no mind. That is what tapasya is all about. Now, another problem is language. Because many people use this terminology at that time in the context of mind which confuses many people. Because Buddha talks about this no mind and he said mindfulness. He uses mind instead of saying no mind. So he uses the word mindfulness. somebody uses the word pure mind. But mind cannot be pure. Mind cannot be, at peace. Peace of mind is a contradictory term. Where there is mind, there is no peace. So the whole technique of all sadhana is transcendence of the mind, reaching that state of no mind. Some people have used the word nirmal mind. This Kabir's stanza is beautiful. मन ऐसो निर्मल भयो जैसे गंगा नीर. मन ऐसो निर्मल भयो जैसे गंगा नीर. पाछो पाछो हरि करे कहत कबीर कबीर. I don't have to find God when mind has become that nirmal like Ganga. Now that nirmal shabda, pure mind, is again a language problem. He is saying the same Amani Avastha he is talking about somewhere else. The whole process, the entire nutshell of reaching this truth is awareness. That is what Krishna says in Gita. Who is yogi? Yogi is one who, when everybody is asleep, is awake. That is exactly the definition that Mahavir said. Remember the first lecture? Asutta means one who is never asleep. So the whole sadhana, in a nutshell, is the sadhana of dissolving your ego. Dissolving your ego as a result of your increased awareness. And developing this sense of witness or sakshiva. So Krishna reaches that. Krishna achieves that, and Krishna's life is a great example. Krishna is not attached to anything. Krishna leaves Mathura, goes Dwarka. You remember he ever remembered Mathura then? Completely out of the picture. There is no reference to Mathura ever. He is totally unattached. Totally unattached. He is like a mirror. Everything is reflected. But you remove the one he is reflected and mirror is same. Nothing touches that mirror. Krishna does everything and nothing affects him. His purity remains the same. He does everything, but he is totally surrendered to existence. Everything, he doesn't do anything. That's why it doesn't affect him. He is completely samarpit, but he is samarpit to the entire existence. So remember this method of non-action to inaction, and then you are free to do all action that you want. Therefore, I believe more and more I try to understand Krishna. Another fascinating thing about Krishna which attracts me the most is there is also an insistence, wrong insistence I believe, by organized religions. Take Christ's statement, Christ has said that an elephant can go through the eye of the needle, but rich man will never enter heaven. So this whole idea of renunciation, that you leave all the riches, all the wealth, your family, in order to find truth, Krishna proves it absolutely wrong. Krishna is a king. Krishna is loaded with all kinds of gold. He is a very rich man. So this idea that rich man cannot find truth, Krishna is the greatest example. It's not true. Richness and truth has no contradiction. Why there should be? Another greatest example is Janak. Raja Janak was a king. And Raja Janak found truth. And the person who directed him to train was Ashtavakra. So richness, to be rich, is not harmful to your truth. What has that to do with it? It is very unfortunate that because of this misinterpretation, India remained poor. Was this addiction to poverty? It has nothing to do with truth. That India is poor is a stupidity. That the entire world is poor is stupidity. Because I don't think that in a scientific era, anybody in the world should be poor. You know, if you remove wars and all expenditures on wars, world has enough wealth to make everybody wealthy. And I believe that nobody should be poor. Nobody should be poor. Poverty is not something to be worshipped. Poverty will not lead you to truth necessarily. And I like Krishna particularly because he lives in full richness and yet he finds it. The problem is not richness. Problem is attachment. And non-attachment, remember, is attachment in reverse. Even if you say, I am not attached to this, you are attached. So Krishna's non-attachment and attachment is above both. Krishna is beyond attachment and non-attachment, what he calls anasakti. Krishna's anasakti is equivalent to Mahavir's vitarag. It is not rag nor dvesh, it is vitarag. It is a third dimension altogether. So Krishna enjoys life fully, even the wealth. Nothing in the life is negated. Nothing in life is negated. It is as vast as life itself, as limitless as life is, as purna as life itself, and with both aspects of it, good and bad, because he transcends good and bad also. He negates nothing. There's a beautiful story of attachment. You know, this fakir is lying under the tree doing nothing, and and everybody is worshipping him. So the king, finds out that, here's the fakir, and everybody respects him, so he goes and meets him. And he, bows down to him and say, why do you have to live under the tree? I have a palace. Why did you come and live with me? So the fakir says, okay, if you are inviting me, I'll come with you. So fakir goes